So, you want to know how to color, but you're out of crayons. Well, that's just too bad. This is the end of the tutorial. I hope you. No, I'm joking. Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we are back once again, taking a look at some color and some digital artness today. So I have a line art, sketchy line art, and I really like the style. I have this here today, and this is what we're gonna color. I do have a reference image. I did use a reference. I never ever use reference images to draw. I just draw from just drawing. But I did a reference image today of this beautiful woman's face because I knew that I wanted something with a lot of color and I wanted to go off of that color. So there's a couple different ways to do it. If you have a reference image, you can definitely go off of the color that's in the image. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new layer behind this little button right here. And this layer is going to be our color layer. So it's going to be underneath our line art. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just grab some color. So I know that I want maybe a little more like olivey kind of color here. We're going to just brighten it a little bit. And now we don't want to go, I've said this before, we don't want to go all the way bright and we don't want to go all the way saturated, because let's say I want to find this nice color. So let me find this really nice color real quick. I'll find a color, maybe something like this, right? So I like this color a lot. This color is pretty nice, right? Right? So if I go ahead and I do that, and I use this as the color, let's say I did the same exact thing, but I just, instead of having a little less saturated, a little less bright, I brightened it all the way, right? And then I saturated it all the way. You see the difference in color here? You see that difference? This is literally an orange now. This is an orange. I don't know what's going on. She looks like a Cheeto, all right? So this is not what we need. We need to go ahead and grab that color back. I hit I to eye drop. Actually, P to eye drop, sorry. P to eye drop that color. B to go back to brush. And now if I were to just drag this down just a little bit, just actually drag it up and just darken it, you can see the effect that's going to have. It's going to be not as pleasing, you know, not as pleasing to the eye. Actually, let me opacity, there we go. It's going to be not as pleasing. It looks kind of dark and kind of gross looking, and it just looks kind of weird. So that's not the best way to darken a color. So we're going to grab this color once again. I'm going to grab that color and eye drop it. Now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag upwards to darken the color, but we're also going to hue shift this. So I'm going to shift this a little bit to the left because the color that we have is a more warm color than it is a cool color. So I'm going to shift it to the left to put a little bit more red into it. And I'm also going to saturate it just a little bit. Just like that. Just bring it to the right a little, just a little tiny bit. Now, if we go ahead and paint with that same exact thing, you can see how much better that looks than this color. These two colors right here, and this one looks so much better. It looks so much better for shading, for other colors. It just looks so much better and much easier to look at, much more natural. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and use this color as our actual base color. So I'm gonna go ahead and just you can fill this in, you know, with the eyedrop tool. You can do that, but I really just like coloring it in myself. It's just something I enjoy doing. I think it takes. I think it's a lot more precise. I would have to go ahead and color all of the edges first. I'd have to color all of the edges the color that I want, like this, and then I could fill it, which is not the most fun thing to me. I just don't enjoy doing it this way. I just really don't. But you can do it this way. A lot of people think it's faster. It is a little faster depending on how much color you have in your entire scene here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go back to that, fill, and fill. No, it's on erase, that's why. Fill, and then we can go ahead and you see they have these little edges here, and you can just go ahead and just color over top of those and fix them. You can do it like that if you want to, but I really do like just coloring it in by hand myself. But for time's sake today, I'm just going to leave it the way that it is right now, because it really is no difference once you're done. It's just a technique of doing it, really, but I really do like doing it by hand myself. So yeah, let's do that, and then I'll just color in the nose here really quickly by hand. And then these strands of hair over here as well need to be colored in. But I do not like coloring everything the same color when it doesn't have to be. So we're actually going to color this as like a brownish color. So I'm going to leave that for now, the way that it is. So yeah, you can see up here, her eyebrows are colored solid black. And I did that on the line art layer, so that's all connected. And I'm also going to go ahead, now undo this one on camera. So I saved it. I want to color in this piece down here all black too, because this is going to be like some really, really hard shading. And you can shade with color if you want to, but I just like doing specific things in solid black. For instance, like I said, eyebrows, eyelashes, both of those are in black, and then super hard shadows like under the neck. Moving forward, now, with eyes, depending on the style that I'm doing at the time, I do like coloring eyes solid white. I do. But that's not necessarily the greatest thing for all styles. So it's usually more cartoony style. I use solid white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drag this down just a little bit and drag it to like a bluish color. And we have that very off white right there. You can see the difference. Very, very off white to the point where you can't even really tell that it is a difference if white is not directly next to it. So let's get rid of all this. And it works pretty much the same way. The only difference is not that now you can actually shade over top of this, because if you're shading on white, it's going to look kind of weird. So I'm just going to go ahead and do something like this. And then for the eye color, we'll go ahead and do maybe a green, because I like green. Because I like green eyes. So we'll go ahead and just do something like that. I'll grab a green, and once again, instead of doing 100% saturation or even 100% brightness, I'm going to drop it down a little bit, maybe add a little bit of yellow into this one, and then we'll hit OK. Now you can see this eye color is much softer, much nicer, and less vibrant than another color. Now, people are like, well, I want it to be more vibrant, so they just turn the saturation up. That's not the way to do it. If you do like this, it's going to look like you're looking at a green screen eye. You know, that's not, no. So what I'm going to do, to make it a little bit more vibrant, if you want to do that, I'm going to eyedrop that color that we had already, the lighter green color. I will brighten it and saturate it a little bit, but I'm also going to go ahead and hue shift it just a little bit more to the yellow. So if you want to be a little bit brighter, I recommend going ahead and doing something like that, which is a lot brighter than what we already had, but I do not think that that's really necessary for this. I like the softer color. So I'm going to use the softer color on the other eye as well. And then we'll go ahead and get that. There we go. All right, moving forward. I have a lip here, and I'm going to just very slightly shade this just a pinkish orange, kind of blood orange color. Once again, not much saturation. It's a little bit lighter and softer this time because I don't want it to stick out that much. I just want it to kind of be kind of be there for you to notice it. I don't want it to be, I don't want to take too much of your focus away from her eyes, which is kind of what I'm trying to draw you to in this, which is why I've chosen green and why they're so bright and eye-catching. There we go. So I like it. I like it. Now, for the hair, we do the same exact thing. I'm going to go ahead and maybe I think I want to actually go for maybe a whiter color. That might look kind of cool. I don't know. I usually do dark hair girls, but we'll go ahead and just do a lighter hair portrait today. I don't know. I'll go ahead and just grab that color. Right, that was really quick. Let me just do that again. All right, so we'll grab a really, really light color. This is so light it's almost white, but it has a little bit of yellow in it, as you can see. And it does have a little bit of saturation. So we'll just do that. And it's super simple. Just get in there and just grab a couple colors and just do them. It's much easier to do it yourself than it is to just go, hey, what color should I use? Just get in there and just play around with some colors. And the great thing about color is that you don't have to worry about the portrait anymore. You've already done all of the heavy lifting. You've already done the line art. You've already done the painting. You've already done whatever style you're doing. Color is always the same. So you can go back later on really and change any color you didn't like from any portrait you've done. You can see right here, I don't have actually complete line art all the way through here, so I'm kind of just stroking the color through, using it as its line art. And you can see a couple spaces right here, and maybe some places right here. I'm kind of just mixing the line art and the color together to kind of create a solid line so I can just color this all in, which is really fun to do and really cool in some specific areas. So yeah, keep that in mind too. You don't have to go off of the line art if you have line art. I don't know, you could be just solid painting, but if you have line art, you don't have to always go off of it. You don't have to make a solid line art line. The hair color, it looks really good with the green, which I didn't think I would like, because I usually, like I said, I like darker haired girls, which is kind of, this looks good. But anyway, but yeah, so that's gonna be it for today's tutorial. Hope you boys and girls enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. But until then, bye bye.